Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time viewing my channel, thank you for coming to my channel. And on this channel I do DIYs, crafting, and occasionally revamping items that I currently have in my house. We have 3 DIYs that we're going to get into today. So let's start with DIY number 1. DIY number 1, we're simply going to be making a fall picture using the laminate flooring pieces that we the free laminate flooring pieces that we get from Lowe's. As I showed you just a few minutes ago, we are going to be using these tongue depressors. They come in a 30 pack at Lowe's. I have this free printable sample that I downloaded from Google. We have the scrapbook paper that is from Hobby Lobby. They're normally like 69 cents. I did get this 50% off, so if you're looking for some scrapbook paper, they currently have it on 50% off at Hobby Lobby. I have these different little pine cones with some different picks in it. That came from Dollar Tree. The ribbon came from Dollar Tree, and the Raffia from Dollar Tree as well, and also the Waverly Chalk paint in antique wax. That came from Wal-Mart. So what we're going to do first is put together our 2 laminate flooring pieces, and we're simply just going to take some hot glue, go down the seam of one side of the laminate flooring, and then connect those together. Once you have it connected together, we're going to then turn this over, and to give it more of a secured hold, we're going to apply the 2 tongue depressors at the top and bottom. And then I'm going to apply one going down the seam in the middle. This will give it more of a sturdy hold. Now you can, if you want to apply some E6000 or super glue if you want, but the actual hot glue seemed to have done the job and made this very sturdy. Now once this is all complete, I will then turn this back over and apply the scrapbooking paper. Now I will advise you, I did use a spray adhesive that I purchased from Dollar Tree. I will not advise using the spray adhesive. It did not work like I really wanted it to. It left a little bit too much bubbling in the paper, and that I didn't like. Now once it completely dried, it did okay, but it still left a little bit more bubbling than I would have liked. So I would advise just using a regular glue stick, or using a real light thin coat of Mod Podge. That's what I would advise. And I also will advise that when we get ready to, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to get all of the extra excess off, as you can see I'm doing here. I will advise to make certain that your project is completely dry before cutting. Now I just had to do this for video purposes, and you will also see that if you do cut it while it is wet, it will be some tearing. Now I wasn't too concerned about that because I will be applying 2 of the tongue depressors on the end pieces that were snagged some. But make certain that your project is completely dry before you actually cut the remaining edges off. So once I have all of my remaining edges cut off, I would then turn the project back over and apply 2 tongue depressors at the top and bottom, just simply using hot glue. Now once I glue those on, I will then apply my picture. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. So I'm applying my picture first before I apply my tongue depressors. And like I said, this picture was simply a free printable from Google. On what I did was just type in free fall printable, and I just selected the printable that I want. So, and I cannot, you guys, I can't remember what site this was actually from, but just Google free fall printable, select the printable that you actually like, and just print it out. So now I'm applying the tongue depressors at top and bottom with some hot glue. Once I get finished with that, I will then apply to the actual center picture. I'm going to apply some Thumbtacks. Now I did clip off the end pieces of the Thumbtacks and then applied them in the four corners of the actual picture. Now you can leave yours, and I forgot to mention this. I keep getting ahead of myself, you guys. So I'm going to apply this backing that I had from a previous project. I don't get rid of any of my picture backings. I always keep them for things such as this. So this is just optional. You don't have to do that. If you don't have one of these, you can just take a simple twine and hang it on the wall. Or you can also go back in the video where I think I did the pumpkin. I made the stand for the pumpkin. You can use the two paint sticks to make a stand for it. Now here I'm applying the Thumbtacks to the corners of the actual picture. And like I stated, I removed the pointy part of it. You make certain that you get down to the closest as you can so it can lay real flat onto the picture if you choose to do so. Now you do not have to do this. This is just what I'm doing. So here I'm taking the antique wax. I'm taking a piece of paper towel and I'm just brushing it over. I'm just making this as though it's a stain. This is an option. I think I've done this before for you. If you do not like the actual stain or the smell of, the actual wood stain, this is an option. Just take down your paint. Now, some people actually put a little bit water in their paint. I did not choose to do that because I did want this dark. Now, if you put the water in there, just note that it will make your stain a little light. So if you want a lighter color, put water in it. If you don't want a lighter color, just use the actual paint itself and just spread it with a piece of paper towel. Now, at this point, you can stop right here, but of course, you know that I like to embellish this a little bit more. So I'm going to make a raffia bow. I'm going to use one of those little picks out of the pine cone set that I have, and I'm also going to use two of the pine cones to put in the middle of the bow, and that will complete DIY number. Okay, moving on to DIY number 2, we will be making another little fall picture frame. Here I have a shadow box from a previous project, but I think I got this at Dollar General. Dollar Tree has several shadow boxes as well as Dollar General. I have this placemat that I had purchased from Dollar General as well for $1. And some more scrapbooking paper that I purchased from Hobby Lobby as well. So first, here what I'm going to be doing is putting the scrapbook paper on the inside, and I'm just measuring the points as to where I'm going to cut it at. Once I have that cut out to size, I'm then going to take a glue stick and apply it on the inside. Now what I'm going to do then is take the placemat. I'm going to cut the pumpkin of my choice out. I think I'm going to use the actual more so red tone and the polka dot pumpkins from the actual placemats. I'm going to cut them out. Now once I have those cut out, I'm then going to paint the top portion of the pumpkin with the turtle Waverly truffle. I'm sorry, I'm saying turtle, but it's the Waverly truffle paint. Then I'm going to glue down my pumpkins inside of my shadow box. Now you will see me take pieces of tongue depressors and glue those onto the pumpkin first before I actually put them on the paper, and that is just to give that those pumpkins a little bit of a 3D effect instead of just applying it straight to the paper. It makes the pumpkin sort of stand out a little bit more, so that is why I'm doing that. So once I do that, I'm then going to put little raffia bows onto the pumpkin, and I'm going to make a stand for the pumpkin. Now that's just like I told you in the beginning. So if you do not have a backing for DIY number 1, as you can see what I do here, I'm going to take 2 paint stir sticks, glue them together. Then I'm going to apply glue the actual shadow box down to the paint stirring stick. Now I'm also going to use some more of those pine cones from the bag that I showed you in DIY number 1. I'm going to put 2 of the pine cones on the each end of the each side, of the shadow box, and glue them down to the paint stirring sticks. And I'm also going to take one little small one and glue to the larger pumpkin on the inside, and that will complete DIY number 2. Okay, moving on to DIY number 3. DIY number 3, we'll be making a lantern. We're using these tongue depressors from Lowe's. We will be using the paint stir stick from Lowe's, and we have these beads. Now I ordered these beads from Amazon. It's been a while back. If I can find the direct link, I will put that in the description box, but the beads can be purchased at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Some have stated they have found some in Dollar Tree. Now I have not found the neutral color in that Dollar Tree, but they do have the colored ones. Now this wood stake is a 3-foot wood stake that I purchased from Dollar General. Now the shadow box is from Dollar General as well. Dollar Tree sells Dollar Tree has shadow boxes as well. Now I'm going to cut down my wood stake by using my miter box saw, and I'm going to cut down for the sides. As you can see here, I'm going to cut these down to size for all 4 sides. So make certain that you measure all 4 sides, because sometimes these shadow boxes are not accurate on each side. Now the wood tongue depressors, these are going to be cut for the top. Now all of this for the shadow box is totally optional. I wanted to stain my piece, so that's why in this shadow box is not real wood, so I know that it would not take the wood stain color like I wanted it to. So therefore I'm using the tongue depressors and the paint stir sticks to go around the shadow box. Now I'm not going to do the inside of the shadow box because that will not be seen, so I'm not worried about putting any tongue depressors on the inside. So once I glue down all of the tongue depressors on the top portion and glue down the paint stir sticks on the side, I would then take and glue, hot glue and wood glue on the stakes for the side of the lantern, and I will also glue in the center portion. As you can see here, I gave you the measurements for the longer side and the measurement for the short side. The longer size was 14 inches and 2/8, and the little piece for the center was like 6 inches. I will also put this in the description box as well. So I'm just cleaning up the excess from the from the tongue depressors from the top. Once I have this all cleaned up, now I'm getting ready to glue on the paint stir sticks. And as I stated earlier, once I have all of this glued on, I'm then going to get ready to put on my wood stakes. Now before I get ready to put on my wood stakes, I did notice that I had some openings on the ends where the two paint stir sticks were supposed to meet. As you can see right there, that opening is still right there in the corners, and I did not like that. So what I did was just take some wooden dowels. I cut those down to size, and I just glued those into the center portion right there. As you can see, I'm pointing right there. I'm going to glue some wooden dowels, cut the wooden dowel down to size, and glue those in. So once I get that finished, I will then proceed with gluing on my wooden my stakes. Now most lanterns, yes, I know, has the 4 corner piece. Mine is just simply going to be this center piece because I did not have any extra wooden stakes, and I was not going out to purchase anymore. So, and I think it did come out cute this way as well. But if you do want yours to have 4 corners, just purchase if you can find it. And it's hard to in my area to find the wooden stakes in my Dollar General, but you can purchase your wooden stakes at your local home improvement store such as Lowe's or Home Depot. So I have put the wooden stakes to the side. Now I'm just applying the centerpiece in the center, as you can see I'm doing here. Once I have this all glued, I will then go in and stain my piece with the Valspar Canyon Brown wood stain. So what we're going to use as the topper is the beads. I'm gonna string, as I showed you earlier, I had that floral wire. I'm gonna take my wooden beads and thread them onto the floral wire. I'm gonna take the end bead and wrap the floral wire around it so that I can have an anchor for the rest of the beads to slide down on without coming off. And I'm gonna do that same technique once I get finished to make certain that it holds in. As you can see here, I just took one bead, tied the floral wire around it, and then I fed on the rest of the beads. And as you can see here, I'm closing it off the same way, just tying that floral wire around it. Now I have stained the wooden beads as well. I'm getting ready just to glue those to the top using hot glue, and that's going to complete the process of putting the lantern together. Now I'm just going to take that floral that I purchased at Dollar Tree, place it around the bottom. Now I know that a lot may want to cover the bottom of that shadow box. Now you can if you want. I chose not to do that because I'm covering, these floral pieces are going to cover that up. And I'm going to put, now I did not have a lantern, not a lantern, I'm sorry. I did not have an electric candle, so I chose to put in this real candle. Now I would not light the real candle, be aware of that, but if you do have a electrical candle, use that. And that completes DIY number 3. I do appreciate you viewing my channel again on today. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, also hit that thumbs up button to like this video. You can also follow me on Instagram